And we're back here with some more Dota 2 action. We've got some noobs. That's about all I got. I'm Pythian here, going to cast game number 2 of this best of 2 set between Various Aspects and Ginvoker in the Learn Dota 2 Spring League. Last match was pretty easily taken by Ginvoker. I'm not sure if I would set it up as a drafting issue, but they definitely had the better mechanics, which led them to being able to take better advantage of the fights, and they actually broke the base fairly quickly, but it did take them a couple minutes to do it. In any case, we're going to get here into game number 2. A couple of things that stood out in the last match were mostly like mechanics things, like getting the most out of the map. I think Ginvoker in the last match, they maybe had been a bit slow. They definitely overextended at the end there when they had already taken 2 racks. I mean, you don't need to go up to the tier 4s to waste your Aegis. I mean, that only usually leads to your team feeding, and it also puts you into a bad position. So I think if you have that Aegis, just go right over to the tier 3 tower in the top lane, because you already have creeps in the base. Yeah, if you already have creeps in the base and you have an Aegis, you may as well just go over to the tier 3 tower if they're not going to defend it at all. Like at that point, the Dire were very scared, and they seemed like they didn't really want to do anything. So Ginvoker just kind of put the fight onto them, and lost a couple of supports as a result of that, getting some gold over to Various Aspects, which maybe made the end in doubt a little bit, but not really. I think the Mirana was played well. There were a couple of very key arrows at the end that really set up some kills. I mean, the kills also, like the arrows were pretty immaculate all game, and as a result of that, Various Aspects, they decided to ban out the Mirana to start it out. Doesn't seem like a bad decision. I mean, if someone shows that they can play the hero that well, you may as well ban it out. So instead, Ginvoker have gone for the Crystal Maiden and Bristleback combo here. Now, if you're not careful, Bristleback can be very difficult to deal with. You can, once you let those quills build up, and if you put the damage in the wrong place onto him, those stacks will build up, and it's very easy for him to turn right around and smack the crap out of you then.
10 seconds remaining.
The Slardar pickup by Various Aspects may help them go through this a little bit, and the Slardar can be very tanky. He's got a lot of strength that you have to work through. And there's definitely ways for him to go up against the Crystal Maiden, either with the Crush or with the bash you get sometimes.
5 seconds remaining.
Slardar, of course, being known for having the most creative names or ability names in Dota 2. I mean, you've got Sprint, does exactly what you think it might do. He's got Crush, now Slithering Crush, does pretty much exactly what you think it might do. It does Bash and Amplify damage. A very literal hero, if I were calling the shots there. So with those 2 pickups for each team, we're gonna head into the banning phase. Various Aspects once again go for the Dazzle very early, and it did a little bit of work for them, but I don't think it was amazing in the last match. I don't think it would warrant a first pick. And they also ban out the Ancient Apparition, which kind of says that they're gonna go for some kind of big heal strat, or a strat that allows heroes to be at low health. Now, something that we don't see very often, but it would be really interesting, is the Bloodseeker.
5 seconds remaining.
It may not be the best hero in all circumstances, but I have a feeling that some of the teams in this event might not be very accustomed to dealing with him, and I think that if he gets going in a match, he can really just make things very difficult for the other team, especially with the changes to his agility. Vengeful Spirit and Alchemist are the bans out from Ginvoker. And I guess the Alchemist kind of makes sense with the Ancient Apparition ban. He can farm fairly well, and I think various aspects definitely need something like that. And the Ancient Apparition kind of cancels out the ultimate. And various aspects also go for the Sven ban. And Ginvoker haven't picked up the Darkseer yet, so I think various aspects are just aware that that player can do the hero, and they can easily go for the Darkseer Sven combo in the second phase if they want to.
10 seconds remaining.
So they get the ban first onto the Sven before that can happen.
5 seconds remaining.
Doesn't mean that we won't see a Darkseer, but doesn't seem like there's a whole reason, a good reason to pick up the Darkseer right now. It would definitely depend on what they do with the rest of their draft. They're going to have the sisters, Crystal Maiden and Lena, on their team this time for Ginvoker. Shallow Grave is sometimes a good way to deal with Lena as long as you can anticipate that damage coming out.
10 seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
Also, depending on if you would build a blink or not, if you get one of those teardrops on your hero, you can block the damage from the Yule Scepter putting you down. So it's now possible to blink out of the Yules if you're able to get it off before the LSA comes through, which could screw up Lena's initiation a little bit. So Slardar is one that I would be thinking could build a blink, but other heroes for various aspects may do that. And that's always a possibility if you end up picking up that item. Because Yules is still very core on Lena. I mean, she's going to pick it up in nearly every match. It just combos too well with the LSA and makes it a lot easier to land the skill. Of course, I think we all know that Ainsley is not one to shy away from getting those skill shots. Last match playing the Mirana, and LSA a similar skill requiring some amount of thought before putting it down to hit it, as it has a very small radius and a delay on it as well. And that's just two of the recipes for making it a bit more difficult to hit those skills. So Yule Scepter, very useful for her. Also gives her some move speed, which is not a bad thing for Alina. But here, why am I talking about an item that's basically picked up on her for every match, regardless of if people know why or not? Ginvoker go for the Luna. That's something we don't generally see from teams. I mean, the changes that have been coming for Eclipse are actually ridiculous. One of the things that people said about the Luna Ags is it was just very underwhelming. And over time, you put that Aghanim Scepter onto the Luna Ultimate, and it basically becomes like a sort of like Razor's Ultimate with Ags now. It has more of those beams. It does a lot of damage. It's actually ridiculous. So then various aspects go for the Ursa, which can do well against the Luna. Can basically run right up to her face and smack her down. Also doesn't really care about the Lucent Beams as much with his Enrage going.
10 seconds remaining.
But I'm looking at Ginvoker's squad right now, and they have a lot of stuns and a lot of ways that they can kite Ursa. With the slows, the Lucent Beam, the LSA, the stun from the Crystal Maiden. Like, one of the ways to deal with the Ursa is just to stay away from him, and they have a lot of ways to be able to do that right now. Ginvoker ban out the TA, and I believe that's because they know about the minus armor that various aspects currently have going against them. And also, looking back at their last 3 bans, the Vengeful Spirit, the Alchemist, the TA, they don't want any kind of minus armor right now from various aspects with the Sword Art and the Dazzle already on that side. I mean, they just want to make sure that they have like they don't want too much minus armor going against them. So they just ban out those heroes. They don't want the Ursa to be doing more than he already is.
5 seconds remaining.
And we'll see what they go with now. They have the Luna.
Reserve time.
I believe they would need another support. Puck is going to be the last support for various aspects. Or sorry, not support. He's going to be the mid laner for various aspects. Yep, they're definitely going to need... Well, they probably need a support. Lena could play support, but it's not something you generally see.
10 seconds remaining.
Also, Puck can phase shift out of a lot of the things that Lena does. I mean, he can phase shift out of Laguna Blade, stay away from Light Strike Array. Dragon Slave to some extent, even though that's a little bit more difficult because of the weird hitboxes on it. And it is going to be the Rubik for Ginvoker, so a bit of using the spells against them here for Ginvoker. And wow, Leroy Jenkins on the Lena. Does that mean it's going to be support Lena and Rubik in the mid lane? That would be interesting. In any case, we're going to get right into this match here between Ginvoker and various aspects. Let's introduce the teams. We've got Luna played by Meow. Or Meow. Of course, that is probably the only reason to pick up Rubik, as long as you can do the giddy up. Like that. Ainsley will be handling the Rubik on the horse. Barry will be playing the Crystal Maiden. We've got a Lena handled by Leroy Jenkins. And finally, going towards the off lane is going to be Steve on the Bristleback. I guess this is definitely a mid lane Rubik. Here for various aspects, we've got Puck played by Red Crow. Slardar handled by Moonquake. We've got Witch Doctor played by Ajarian. Dazzle on the support role, already leveling up the Shadow Wave, played by Shumpa. And finally, Ursa Bear. He's going to be played by Prince Zuko. So Slardar already getting chased outside of the jungle here. I don't know if he placed any wards down. No, he didn't. Yeah, they're going to send the rune over to Ainsley. And Red Crow is going to get the other rune at the top rune spot. Already an observer ward placed by the Radiant here. And Slardar actually hasn't brought a ward to this bottom lane. He's just trying to maybe play some mind games with the Radiant squad, who incidentally don't have any sentries. So they've gotten the runes. We're going to get started right onto this match between Ginvoker and various aspects. Remember that Ginvoker have taken game number 1 of this best of 2 set. This will be the last match that they play today, so we're going to get right into it. Rubik misses the last hit, but does get a deny on the mid lane. And we'll see how Ginvoker zone out the Slardar this time around. He has put down the sentry ward, or sorry, the observer ward. And Leroy Jenkins is going to go give him a high five right in the face. And again, so here's one of the things that could have been improved in the last match. The amount of pressure that the Wraith King, Lion, and Dazzle put onto the offlaner in the last match. And now the Crystal Maiden is trying to farm up inside the jungle using the Frostbite as much as possible. And the Slardar just running around here, trying to stay alive. Luin is doing a lot more to try to zone. Just staying well away from the Slardar. That is something that you definitely have to be careful of. I don't know why Luna is talking so much to Lena. I mean, it's only a 1-letter difference in their names, but still, I mean, you don't need to have a freaking slumber party or whatever. In the mid lane, currently Rubik's doing okay against the Puck. He's fade bolting up the creep to get the last hit there. And yeah. So right now the Rubik's basically keeping up with the Puck right now, or I guess I should say that the Puck is keeping up with the Rubik. As they've got fairly similar CS right now. Yeah, Rubik just wants to get those levels up, try to get to that ultimate, make sure that the Fade Bolt is going to be doing quite a bit of damage. Steve is trying to kite out the Ursa in the top lane. Ursa using a little bit of mana here to kill around some creeps. In terms of things to steal for the Rubik, you could get stuff from the Slardar, maybe the Dazzle. I mean, a Dream Coil from Puck wouldn't be a bad thing. Or the Witch Doctor Death Ward would also be good. You could use that quite a bit. But it's not really your typical Rubik game where you have a ton of things to steal. Like, it seems quite a bit different from that. Also worth mentioning is that Moonquake was on the Phantom Lancer in the last match. Oh, Lightstriker Ray does hit on the Slider, and there's going to be the Lucent Beam. First blood by Leroy Jenkins, who throws out the Dazzle. Sorry, the Dragon Slave. There wasn't even a Lucent Beam used there. A Poison Touch goes on the Bristleback. Meanwhile, in the top lane, Paralyzing Cask not available here, already used. So Bristleback will conversely not go down at top. So Ginvoker once again strike first here. Last time it was the Mirana with an arrow that got a kill in the mid lane. This time it's Luna at bot. And they are not stopping this Luna at all for levels. Lena could be coming in from the side. Crystal Maiden ready to go. Let's see if the Slider knows what's coming. Yeah, the Slider knows what's coming. And Lena not quite in range for the Lightstriker Raid. Definitely needs to get a little bit closer for that one. I think the Luna could have also waited a little bit to go. I think the tell was pretty obvious there. There's going to be a silence onto the Rubik. And now here comes the Paralyzing Cast from the Witch Doctor. Rubik might be pretty far in here. He has the Hillift available. He's not going to use it just yet. Uses the Salve to try to get away. And he's definitely going to need to run very fast if he wants to get out of this one. Another Illusory Orb could be available from the Puck. Puck is going to use it to go the wrong way, but he will find that last hit on the Rubik. Meanwhile, in the bottom lane, Slardar went down to the Lena. And let's see what else was used there. Oh, we can't see that. Oh, well. Lena gets another kill at bot. Phase Boots are on Ursa now, so he's got a little bit more damage and some mobility to stop the kiting. I would say that the offlanes are fairly even at this point. One last hit goes on to the Bristleback from the Ursa, and he will easily take him down. This Slardar now has to be very careful. So I would say that the offlanes are a bit even for each team now, with one having 2 deaths and one having 1. And the Ursa has a little bit more farm, but the Luna has more denies, although those don't really count as much for a carry. It is good to see that they're doing well with those, though. I mean, Bristleback isn't doing badly right now. He is 7 for 2, not last hitting the best underneath tower. That's one of the things that you have to practice as like any hero, really. Like, last hitting under tower, you just have to be very in tune with how much damage your hero does and how much the tower does. There was a post a while back on exactly how much damage things do. I believe Steve will go down there to the Maldic. Indeed he does. Yeah, there was a Reddit post a while back on like how much damage towers do if you do a certain amount of damage as a hero. Like, how many times you have to hit a creep if nothing else is happening. And there is going to be a lift onto the Rubik. Drop down onto the ground. Now here comes the orb. Oh man, they just switch orbs. And now the Rubik also picks up the Paralyzing Cask from the Witch Dart. Gonna bottle up here. And there are plenty of people here on the mid lane. Here comes the Paralyzing Cask onto the Puck. It's gonna go all around here. And Rubik just doing all of the skills here. Lena getting in position for a stun onto the Slardar, just misses it a bit there. Wasn't really in the best of shape to be able to throw that out. And I think at this point, Bristleback definitely needs to be careful in the top lane. I mean, the Ursa is not very scared of the Bristleback at all. I mean, the Bristles are going to build up, but I mean, the Ursa will eventually have Enrage. And that will make things quite a bit more difficult for the Bristleback, since his quills won't really do so much. Ainsley will once again steal the orb away from the puck. Misses the last hit onto the catapult though. Dazzle's come over to help at the bottom lane. And Poison Touch goes on the Leroy Jenkins. Here comes a sprint in. And there is going to be the Lucent Beam. Not even going to be able to get that crush off. Now he will onto Leroy Jenkins. But, oh, they need one more hit onto the Swardar. And there's going to be no dot there. And they will not be able to take the Swardar down. Now here comes the Eclipse in from the Luna. Going under tower for that one. And, well, the Eclipse will take down the Dazzle. So Dazzle's going to pay for saving the Swardar there on the bottom lane. Look how minus armor that is right off the bat. Just minus 12 there? Is that what it is? Minus 10. That makes sense. So minus 10 armor right off the bat. I guess Selena was getting the armor from somewhere else. Not sure. She did. Oh, she's getting it from the Luna with the Ring of Aquila. Okay. In any case, Maledict onto the Bristleback, not going to get blocked up by the Witch Doctor, and Ursa trying to run as fast as he can. One of the things to keep in mind on Ursa in a laning phase is that the Q is very good for chasing heroes down. I mean, he maybe didn't really need it as much this match as he does have a lot of control from his supports, but if you're trying to chase a hero down early and you have those phase boots, getting the Earth Shock, or yes, the Earth Shock, I know my Ursa, getting the Earth Shock early is very beneficial. Rubik now has the silence. Not sure how well that will go for him, although it could turn into a kill onto the puck if he is able to do the right things with it. And you can also go for a steal onto the Illusory Orb. And Rubik is just going to see the puck use the phase shift. And I believe that's what he has now. So Rubik has phase shift. That's alright. It's not a bad thing for a Rubik to have. So really, just being able to steal all those skills in the mid lane is what is going to really make the game for the Rubik. Poison Touch will go on the Bristleback, and he's just going to stay near these range creeps a little bit longer. Rubik will push up in the mid lane. There's a Swardar on the side, has the sprint available, and Rubik, he's not going to be able to dodge out of that one. Here comes the Illusory Orb, and the nice dodge by Rubik. Doesn't matter, though. There's going to be a nice Dream Coil onto the Crystal Main. Crystal Main could take the fall for this one. Swardar not really worrying about this one. Goes for the crush there anyway. And is under tower range. Doesn't care about it. Lena is here. Doesn't have level 6 just yet. She needed one more creep for it. She doesn't even have mana, honestly, for it. She does have the wand charges if anybody moves up. But various aspects, they are getting right back into this match right now. It is 3 kills for 5. And look at that. Dazzle even gets a denial onto the bottom tower. So they're taking a lot around the map. 2-0-1 on the puck so far. And a couple purchases going through here. Swardar will find the phase boots and... Sorry, the power treads, and Rubik finds the phase boots. Dragon Slave goes out. I don't know if Puck dodged that. Now it's going to use the Arcane Rune. And Rubik gets the Illusory Orb. Does do some damage on the Puck. Puck wisely keeping the Illusory Orb at level 2. So that Rubik doesn't do as much damage with it. LSA is going to miss by the Lena. Lena turns around for a second. There's going to be a lift onto the Swardar. Moves him over to the Dazzle. Dazzle going to get hit by that Dragon Slave. Whoa, here comes the Orb. And Rubik wisely chooses not to go in as he doesn't really have anything right now. Well, it does have an ultimate. So maybe he could have orbed in, taken the Grave from Dazzle, but he still would have been very deep in there. And definitely wants to try to be very careful. Don't know if Rubik was seen there by the Witch Doctor.
This'll come in handy.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Puck and Witch Doctor staying around this mid lane. Level 9 on the Puck, level 4 on the Witch Doctor. Now it's a Swardar and Ursa party at top. Interesting, Ursa's picked up a Blightstone. That's pretty good. Fade Bolt will finish off the Puck in the mid lane. Unfortunately, didn't do the phase shift to try to get out of the Laguna Blade, which definitely is possible, as the Laguna Blade is a projectile, and you can phase shift while that projectile is going to you to try to avoid that damage. Unfortunately, did not happen. And now in the top lane, the Bristleback, he could get gone on here by the Dazzle. Going to get the Poison Touch onto his back, and there are lots of quills going out here, and those just keep going out. Now there's the Enrage from the Orsa, and they're trying to chase down the Bristleback. Bristleback continues to use the quills, and Prince Zuko will stay alive, even though he's got 7 stacks of those kills. Hello? And Bristleback gets away. He's still quilling as he gets back to base. Another orb available on Rubik. That's basically like a free blink for him. And they're just going to go for this tier 1 tower in the mid lane. Fortify is going to get forced out. They have a Dream Coil and a jump available from the Puck. Puck is ready to go if he wants to. They're going to take the tower within deny range. Or, no, they won't just yet. Get that Rubik illusion out of there. It's not helping anything. They'll take care of the creeps very quickly. Here comes an illusory orb. Could go on to the Crystal Maiden. Doesn't just yet. LSA going to be very early by the Luna. She's going to step up the cliff. Now here comes the Slider. Has the Crush available. Triple Dream Coil by the Puck, and here they go. This is going to be the Paralyzing Cast jumping around here. Rubik is basically out of mana. Puck gets to the backside. Will take down the Luna with the help of the Dazzle. And now the Eclipse is done some damage to the Witch Doctor, but it's really not going to be enough. Puck possibly going to try to deny himself. Not going to happen. As Bristleback comes in with one last Quill and gets the fight right there by the Ancients. So it's going to be a 2-for-1 in the mid lane with the Lina going down. So a support for a support and a core is definitely worth it for Ginvoker right this second. Take a quick look at the net worth as Orsa is at the top. He's gotten the, well, as we say, the tower goes down and Luna gets the top spot now. So there's going to be a TP in here by the Orsa. Orsa's going to get lifted up. He doesn't have an Aegis. They go through him right now. He's going to turn right around and use the Enrage. He's going to get frozen in place by the Crystal Madine. And the goo on his butt. Meow trying to get out of this one. Swardar, he really wants to do this. But no, he's just going to let the Luna get out for now. Luna gets away with her life. She is doing some kind of weird dance on top of that cat. And they will make it away. They will abscond to the base. 14 minutes in the game, we are even at kills for 6. We, in the last match, kind of saw that the teams they're very patient, they're not very aggressive, they have very few kills in their matches. Roshan is getting attacked by Orsa right now, and the Blightstone is helping him out, I believe, a little bit? No. It's weird. So, it's Blightstone. I don't know if it has a modifier. Oh no, they're going to find their way into the base. There's the LSA. Orsa picks up the Aegis, and he's going to have that. There is not a lift available from the Rubik. Rubik does have the overpower, and Orsa is going to blink out. Okay. So they take the Aegis right off of Orsa. That's a little bit worrying for the Dire. They kind of really needed that. Unfortunately, they had that LSA go basically right when they went inside the pit, so they weren't able to get it when Orsa respawned. And look at Rubik attack fast. Just moving with that. I think they may try to go onto the mid tower. No. Lena's going to TP away. They could still go. Bristleback is getting his power chest delivered by the courier. Let's see what we got going. Paralyzing Cast onto the Luna. It's going to jump around a little bit. Rubik will steal the sprint away from the Swardar. That's probably not the best thing for the Rubik to have, since it will increase the damage that he takes. And Puck could be looking for something to come in the side here. There's a big double stun by that throwdown by the Rubik, and now the Dream Coil goes on the Bristleback. Bristleback is going to put a lot of quills right onto the Dire. Dazzle gets very low. Bristleback goes down very quickly. Probably would like to finish off maybe the Vanguard instead of getting the power treads, but Rubik has stolen the Earthshock away from the Orsa, which is okay, I guess, but Rubik really doesn't have the mobility that he needs to be able to use that spell. The Dire will rotate over to the top lane. We still got 2 at mid for the Radiant, 3 at mid rather. Didn't see that Rubik. Alright, so things are calming down a little bit. Bristleback still does a lot of damage with the quills, but I would really like to see him finish off his survivability on him, because with the Swardar in play, his health will go down very quickly, as well as the Orsa. Orsa is pretty adept at killing heroes quickly with the overpower and the Fury swipes. But we're going to see the Radiant go over to the top lane anyway. Luna is going for the Yasha. We'll see if and when the Aegis comes out for her. Minus armor going to get used onto the Radiant. And something you don't realize is during this whole time, look at this armor tick down. I mean, this Rupik currently at -1 already. And if the Slider comes in here, going to put the minus armor onto the Crystal Maiden, she can get absolutely blown up. But here comes the Eclipse, doing quite a bit of damage. Dreamcoil going to be onto 2. Steve is going to run in with the Quills, goes right on the Puck. Puck gets lifted in the air, is going to go down. Now the Rupik will take out the Orsa. Orsa, he's going to be in the base for 40 seconds. Remember, he doesn't have the Aegis anymore. Dazzle trying to do as much damage as possible before he goes down, but it's not going to happen. Blink for by Rupik. He's trying to look for the Slider, who's just sprinting away and will end up getting out. So it is going to be, in the end, a 4-for-1 in the top lane, as well as the tower going the way of the Radiant. So we talked about that armor, but right now a bit of a problem for various aspects is they lost their Orsa way too early, and he's just not survivable enough. Now, giddy up goes Ainsley. Lino also finds the tower at bottom. I guess that whole entire fight was without her, which is very interesting that they were able to win that without her. They just did enough with the Eclipse, and Bristleback just walks right in. They're also going to probably... They're not going to chance it. With a couple of those TPs in, the Rubik has to be careful. Slider goes forward, not going to find anything. Rubik also is blunk away. They're not going to find the tier 2 tower, and the tower can get denied now with the catapult continuing to go ham. They're just going to let it go a little bit more. It's nothing really to be worried about. 97 health. So there's no tier 1s remaining. I believe this tower is going to get denied, so it's going to be one tier 2 tower that the Dire have remaining to defend their base. And in terms of high ground defense, I think various aspects have a bit. But I would say it's mostly the Puck and the Witch Doctor. And they really have to be on their game there. To some extent, the Dazzle Weave can help you out a bit. And let's see who sees who. Barry is going to get scouted out here by the Dire, and Ursa is going to easily take care of that. Just way too far out there. And now, oh, the lift goes on to Ursa, but the Rubik was down way too quickly. Puck gonna also go forward. He's not seeing the Lina there. Now the Lina trying to back up. LSA going to be way too late. Dreamcoil goes out, and this Dragon's Lake just completely misses the puck. Now here comes Luna in from the backside with the Eclipse. It's going to hit. It's going to end up taking out. No, the puck is still alive. Bull, Lucent Beam not going to be there. There is going to be the Lucent Beam, but the silence not in time. Or was it? It just didn't hit anything? I'm not sure. In any case, the puck goes down for taking down 3 near the river. The Rubik was a fairly big kill. Just a lot going on there. It was a little bit disorganized. Ursa, I think, needs to build towards the BKB. And he's very far away from it at this point. Slider almost has a Blink Dagger. That last fight really helped him out trying to get it. Vanguard and Solar Crest finish up on Bristleback. Those are some pretty big items for him. And there's also a Yule Scepter on Lina. So a bunch of heroes are finishing... Oh my gosh, why does it keep doing that? A bunch of heroes are finishing up their items right now. I would say that this Crystal Maiden isn't really doing a big thing for the Radiant. And now here come the Dire. They're going to get scouted out by this Observer Ward, and there is no detection for them, so... Radiant know to back up. Here comes Rubik. He sees the Dazzle but doesn't want to give it away. Yeah, now he's going to steal the Paralyzing Cask from the Witch Doctor. And I think that they know that the Radiant have vision up there now. But there is no detection. And Dazzle's actually going for... Hello, an Orchid? So that's gonna take quite a while for the Dazzle to pick up. I think the Dazzle's like, screw you guys, I don't think you know how to play. Ursa's going to get hit a lot by that Paralyzing Cask of the Rubik, and now the Laguna Blade right onto the Enrage, doing a lot of damage with the Witch Doctor ultimate. Ursa's going to take out the Rubik, Ursa's going to take out the Lina, and now Ursa goes ham right onto the Crystal Maiden. Actually gets taken out by the Witch Doctor, and that was just way too deep. Now here's the Bristleback stuck on the backside of this, ended up getting crushed by the Swordar. There's going to be another crush. And taking out triple kill for Orsa. 4 down with the Luna just walking in. Didn't have the Eclipse. It's definitely not the right engagement. I mean, they did do enough to stun up the Orsa, but I think the Luna was too far behind. The Laguna Blade definitely needed to really hit there, but it was on top of the Enrage, which ended up with the Luna basically being extremely ineffective there. And unfortunately ends up going down with the 3 other members of her team, as the Orsa just goes ham. It's just one of those things. If you get the opportunity, you have to burst him down, and you can't do it while an Enrage is going. Lucent Beam goes on to the Puck. Puck can easily get out with the Orb, and they're just going to force that. That was just one of those things. I mean, it was a beautiful initiation with the paralyzing cask and the lift, but there wasn't anything else. And the Orsa, able to get off the Enrage, just cleans it up. I mean, you do not want this guy to get going. Currently, he was very far away from the BKB, but after that last fight, he is looking fine. I would say that the Radiant really dropped the ball there. Wish Doctor is going to pick up a smoke now. Luna now has the Manta style, which is going to help her if she uses it before the Puck silence, which could be some kind of play if the Luna really needs to get off an Eclipse. Rubik's going to get caught out on the backside here. Oh, blink forward. Crush is going to miss from the Slardar, and this Rubik is caught very far out. Amplified damage going to be available. Rubik's just trying to get it out onto something. Wants to know some idea of where the Dire are. Has to just stop with those plans. And yeah, Ainsley is working his way towards the Aghanim Scepter. Orsa has finished up the BKB, so I would say very little that the Radiant can do about him until the Bristleback and the Luna really start to get their feet underneath them, and there is going to be a Crimson Guard onto the Bristleback. So that is a great item against the Dire if the Orsa really continues to be the main problem. I mean, the Slardar is going to have to start pulling some weight if they want to take care of him. Or care of the Radiant, that is. Smoke is going to get used by the Radiant. They're going to go in through that river path. They may get it popped by the Witch Doctor, who's making his way out of this one. They see the Slardar at top. They're going to go right onto him. Here comes the blink in by the Rubik. Going to lift the Slardar up, put him back down. There's going to be the sprint. Use Crush is going to go out, but the Bristleback is going to find the kill onto the Slardar. And now the Dire, we'll see if they want to go back into this. They're just going to slither around in their jungle. And that's going to mean that the tier 2 tower goes down the mid lane. They may decide to go for the base, but no. They're just going to clear out mid. There's no Roshan available, and they know that, but it is going to spawn right now. What about that timing? Alpha Wolf just scouting it out. They're going to see that the Roshan is there. I believe that the Dire are going to scout them in with this Observer Ward right here. But the Roshan maybe not. I don't think it's going to be done before they can do anything. They're trying to group up here. They've gone back. They have a smoke available. They're going to use it. They go right into the Roche pit. Luna has to stay away. They don't want to give away anything. So here they go into the Roche pit. They're going to go in, get something nice for the Luna. They've also got the Solar Crest, which doesn't do as much to Roshan anymore. And take a look at this Orsa. He has gotten the Blink Dagger going right for the Ancients. He's so close to them. But this Roshan, halfway down, is he going to be able to blink in? I don't know if he knows about it. Might be thinking that the Radiant are smoked up, but they're just going to take the Roshan. Aegis goes to Luna, and the Radiant back up. I think they might be thinking about pushing down the mid lane, taking down the last remaining hour tower, and just having the same path to victory as they did in the last game. Puck going towards the rune. He's going to get scouted out. He's actually going to take out that Observer with his little puck balls there. Rubik finally finishes off the Aghanim Scepter. And he's also walking pretty fast. He has a sprint from the the Slardar if he needs it. They put the Solar Crest onto the creep in front, and take a look at that. It actually blinds the tower for a couple hits so that the creep stays alive for a bit longer. Rubik steals the silence from the puck. Ursa's ready with a blink. He's possibly looking for a target. Hasn't quite gotten to the Skull Basher. Rubik's going to Fade Bolt up those creeps and take them out very quickly. They needed another creep wave. It's going to be here pretty soon. Pretty soon. There you go. There are some creeps. They are indeed there. Take a quick look at the XP and Gold Grass. Nearly even for XP, and net worth is very in favor of the Radiant right now. They're very scared of this. They want to be as careful as possible. They don't want to lose their Luna, who still has that Aegis. Orchid is going to get finished up on the Dazzle. That's kind of the item that... that's kind of the item that you see built sometimes, even if you're not really sure why. I mean, maybe you want to use it to stop the Crystal Maiden, who hasn't been a factor really in this match, but you can use the Yule Scepter to do that if you want to. Bristleback takes down the last remaining outer tower, and I don't think the Radiant have to back up here at all. They still got the Aegis on the Luna. Illusory Orb comes through, maybe clears out some creeps. The Dire are just sitting in their base. I think the Radiant may be trying to make sure that all the lanes are pushed out before they go in. They don't want to be losing anything while this is happening. So they're just going to back up a little bit, wait for the waves to be pushed in. There's a lot of momentum in the bottom lane, so they're going to have to definitely do something to bring that back if they want to. But right now they're just sitting at the secret shop area. The Dire are smoked up. Rubik's going to break it, blink away, silence him, lift up the Dazzle. It's going to be a big stun here. Goes right onto the Orsa, and Rubik almost goes down. There's going to be the Crimson Guard. Witch Doctor Ultimate doing quite a bit with the Dream Core right on top of 3. Now the BKB used by Ursa. He's going onto the Aegis Luna. Aegis going to get popped. And now Bristleback. He's trying to run away from the Ursa. Ursa trying to get right to the Bristleback. He wants to get to the Quills. He will end up taking down the Rubik. And now here comes the Luna in from the backside. Doesn't have the Eclipse right now. And she's left all alone. Blink forward right onto the Ursa. Ursa. Oh, Luna ends up taking down, wins the man fight. Now the Puck probably going to have to back away. Yule Scepter out by the Luna. There's going to be another counter Yule Scepter by the Puck. Puck is trying to go right onto someone. Going to get the silence onto the Bristleback. Will end up taking him out with the Illusory Orb, but the Luna will finish off the kill. And now we take a look at the Luna chasing down that sneaky Witch Doctor. Getting blocked out by the Wolf a little bit. Going in range for the Lucent Beam. Will she get the vision? She doesn't have it just yet. She's needs to micro that Wolf. Micro the Wolf. She will get it. Eventually. And they can't really do anything about this Luna right now. Here comes the Slardar, though. Whoa! Blink on cooldown. Doesn't get the crush. Now the blink forward. The Manta Cell is going to get popped. And there's going to be a poison touch on the Luna. Is the Slardar going to be able to do enough here? Silence goes on to Luna. And the Glimmer Cape is going to be there. But what the Crystal Maiden doesn't realize is that... I mean, with the Slardar Ultimate, you can still see through that. So the Crystal Maiden definitely need to do a lot more there to help out the Luna. I mean, she had the stun, but didn't really feel like doing anything. A bit hard to understand. That kill gives a lot of gold over to the Dire. About 1,000. And this is a very interesting net worth chart. So some kind of weird decisions there. The Dazzle going for the Orchid, which she used there to go onto the Luna, which I guess worked a little bit. Did some burn damage at the end. There's not a whole lot of magic damage from the Dire to speak of. It's really mostly physical. I guess Bristleback's going to be going for an Ag Scepter as well. Ursa has finished off the Skull Bastion. Now there's going to be a blink forward onto Rubik. Rubik very far, but he's going to get silenced up by the Dazzle. Now here comes the Illusory Orb by the Puck, and Dazzle's going to end up taking out the Rubik. Also, the preemptive Grave onto the... preemptive Grave, I guess. I don't really care who it's on. Ursa will end up finding the Crystal Madine, and the Light Striker Ray is going to miss. Now here comes the Ursa. He's going to get stunned up. Crush goes on to Barry. Barry, just take a look at that damage. Just so much. That does create a little bit of space as Luna's going to be going onto the base. He has the Manta Style. They're going to get hit by the Coconut. And the Luna will be putting some damage onto this tier 3 tower at bottom. But now here comes the rotation. Crush goes onto the Luna. Witch Doctor, sorry, someone ended up, nope. Orisa takes out Crystal Maiden, Orisa takes out Luna. No one TP's out. And right now, Ginvoker, they're just trying to do stuff around the map that they can. That's a very blunt way of putting it, but right now they're just trying to find space where there isn't and giving stuff right over to the Orisa. They're a bit too split up right now. They needed to press their advantage a little bit better with the Aegis, and they didn't. And now the Lina could also get cut out here. She's got a double damage rune. Oh no, Vision was given. And the Lina has to be careful. She's trying to play the mind games here. She doesn't have a TP. Sorry, I'm just missing stuff left and right. BKB is going to get popped by the Orisa, and Rubik will and Crystal Maiden go down in this bottom lane. That's going to be the tier 1 tower going down, so they were just hanging out in those trees for a bit too long. So that's going to be the first tower of the game for the Dire. Puck is going to orb forward in the middle lane and going to go right next to that tower. The fortify is going to get used. Now Puck needs to be careful. Going to use the phase shift to try to go away, but it's not going to be enough. Yule Scepter up into the air, and there's going to be enough damage. Bristleback going to take down the Puck in the mid lane. And the Slardar and Witch Doctor were rotating over to try to do something. Ursa very low on mana. In the end, it's just a Puck going down the mid lane. Once again, the team's not really sure where to stand, a bit too far forward. And what is this Dazzle doing? Hello? I don't know what this build is. Orchid, Shadowblade. What? I am confused. I'm not sure. I'm very perplexed at this Dazzle. I think the Dazzle might think that, I don't know, maybe they're a Slark? That's a pretty passable build on a Slark. I mean, the brown boots kind of give it away that it's a support, but that is so weird. I don't even know what's going on. So here we go into the mid lane. We've got the Steal of the Weave. Okay, that's definitely quality. So you can counteract that weave with the weave of your own and basically keep the armor static for your team. That's good. And of course Rubik has the Ags, so this weave is going to be a bit more effective for his team. Right? So here we go. There's going to be a blink. Crush on the 3! BKB by the Slardar. Now Orsa going ham right on the Crystal Maiden, forced to use the Glimmer Cape. Nice Dream Coil is going to keep 3 there. And now the Orsa trying to go right onto the Luna. Luna using the Eclipse. Goes onto the Witch Doctor, takes him up, but now the Luna left all alone. There's a Crusher onto his face. Now he's going to go onto the Bristleback. Bristleback trying to back away from this one. Illusory Web comes forward from the Puck. Oh, the Crush not going to be there quite yet from the Slardar. And now there's going to be a nice double stun. Doesn't matter. The Puck is going to take the last hit on the Rubik. And now it's just a Bristleback. Bristleback got the amplified damage on his back. And the Crush once again misses. Puck is getting very aggressive here. Those quills are moving off. Silence on the Bristleback, trying to get him down. He's being very loose. We got that Solar Crest available. He can put it onto someone. He can also go over and get this. Oh, no. A rune in a couple seconds. There's also going to be another one if he wants it. We'll see what it is. It's going to be a bounty rune. Puck once again goes to the other side. Bristleback continues to put those quills up. They're going to continue to chase him, and they need to be careful. Bristleback, he puts some more out, and, well, oh, kills the Slardar. Ursa, please, main. Don't kill me, bro. In the end, Tier 3 tower stays up for the Dire. They defend that. They take a pretty big fight, 3,200 gold off the back of that. They keep the Ursa alive, and this Ursa has an Abyssal. This is getting real. Puck also has a scythe. That is a lot of control that the Radiant are going to have. And if we take a quick look at these graphs, I mean, that tells a pretty big story right there. The Abyssal also makes the Ursa a little bit more tanky with the changes to it. I really like it for him now. As if it weren't good enough before, It's going to block some damage. It just makes him a little bit more tanky, gives him the stun, and it also doesn't take as much damage and has a lower cooldown. That's a lot of good things for the Ursa, who already has mana problems and doesn't really need a huge Abyssal Blade mana cost to hurt him. So Puck has the Scythe of Ice and the Yules. Witch Doctor really hasn't been building towards an Aghanim Scepter at all because this Dazzle has been going for, I don't know what build this is, but it's what the Dazzle is going for. Roshan has respawned and the Radiant can go in for it. Luna has the Invis Rune and she's going to scout it out. Decides to go back away. Smoke is going to get used by the Dire. They're looking for something around the map. They have vision on the Bristleback. They can try to go for him. Bristleback currently level 17, and Stevie's going to back up, almost like he knows something's going on. Dazzle's going to go and run forward in that mid lane, trying to find someone, but she's veering away from her team and has to be careful. Luna is just sitting in this Roshan pit. There is some vision here from the Dire, and their smoke kind of missed. But they're going to see the... Nope. The smoke also goes through by the rain, and they're right inside the Roche pit. Let's see how good this Swardar is. Swardar getting ready. Has a blink available. Are you going to jump in there? Waiting for his team. He's going to use the sprint now. There's a blink. Crush on 3 and the BKB. Puck is in the middle of this. There's also going to be the Dream Coil there. And Meow is just going to stand strong in the middle of the pit. But the rest of his team is leaving him. And he's got to get out lots of damage. Look at that physical damage from the Dire. All that minus armor right in the face. Rubik trying to steal something. Does get the Death Ward. But now he's going to get turned into a pig. Scythe of Ice wasn't really used in that fight. And now here it comes. A full 5-man team wipe for various aspects as they go in. And they're going to go take this Roche. Just an absolute stunner of the fight there. Swardar, he gets ready for the crush on the start of the team fight for the initiation. Gets the crush on the 3, and then a beautiful Dream Coil off the back of that. They just get all that minus armor, and Orisa and Swardar blow up the Radiant. Radiant just very disorganized there and all caught out in that pit. Maybe they wanted to stand outside a little bit more, or keep some members in reserve for when that initiation came. Because Luna stood strong for a little bit, but Luna by herself is not really anything to be scared of. I mean, unless she is super farmed. In this case, she's really not.
Radiant's middle tower has fallen.
So a couple more towers go the way of the Dire. They definitely have a lot of ground to make up here, but the Puck already pushing in through top as fast as he can. Going to be doing all the damage. 2,700 gold in the bank right now. They're just going to go right onto the tier 1 tower. Fortify is going to use. They want to go right through the back door, and creeps will get here eventually. They're going to take down this tier 1. They could go for a tier 2, but they're just going to take a second right now and think about their lives. Orisa continuing to be at top of the net worth right now. Luna really needs to get that farm going. She is now going for the butterfly, which may force the Orisa to go for MKB possibly. Because if you can't take this Luna down, she can definitely start to really make an impact on this match. There's some graphs right there, and you can just see how drastic the change has been. Also, it's important for the Luna to be able to get the BKB off before those Scythe of Ice things are coming through. And it is a long duration BKB. You just have to make sure that you can get it off before things start happening. And Dazzle's, I am so confused about this build, is now going for an Aghanim Scepter. So, Orchid, Shadowblade, Ags. Seems good. Now the Lena is possibly going to get caught out. Another crush is going to miss by this Swardar. This guy's really got to practice with it. Yule Scepter up onto the Swardar. Leroy Jenkins going to get slowed down and smacked down by the Ursa. That was just... This Swardar really needs to practice, like, getting those stuns off. And that is what the Dire can turn into another tier 2 tower in this bottom lane. They just quickly take care of the creeps. They don't even care about the damage this tower does. We are 42 minutes into the game in various aspects. They lost game number 1, but they are back with a vengeance here for game number 2. They're going to go on to this tier 2 tower. And, well, I mean, if we take a look, there's a Luna, a Rubik, and a Bristleback. They don't even care. They say, you can take our tier 2 tower, but we're going to go for your base. Here they come. We've got Sword already. Blink Sword. This will be a crush on the Luna. No BKB off. And will the... No, Puck is not here just yet. There is the Death Ward. It's basically onto Illusions. Here comes the Puck, seeing if he can jump in and do anything. But he's not going to do it just yet. They've left the Crystal Maiden at the base to deal with these creeps. And are they going to be able to find anything on the back of this? Swardar has vision of the Rubik. There's the Blink. Oh, no! Blink away by the Rubik. Rubik's going to try to get his way out of this one. He's got the Crush available as well. And, oh, he puts it onto the Swardar. Man, what a player. This Puck also in the pursuit. Has the Blink forward. Turns the Rubik into a pig. Now the Rubik, he's in a bit of a trouble spot there. Rubik going to go down to the Crush, Pig, and Ursa coming in. He is beyond godlike. And, well, here comes Shumpa. He's looking pretty aggressive here. He's found the Bristleback, but I don't know if the Dazzle really wants to go in on this. So only the Rubik goes down there. And the Dire keep the tier 3 tower. They're grouped up somewhat here. They could go for the tier 2 tower at top if they wanted to. Especially with that Rubik down. It's just one of those things that if you put the Rubik in the mid lane, things get a little bit weird for because you really want to count on your carry getting a ton of farm in that situation, and the Luna just really hasn't gotten there. I mean, you really need to have a great start on your Rubik. You need to have someone confident. I think Ainsley is. It just hasn't been good enough this match. And the Luna was a bit slow in the farm with the amount of space that was created. Or didn't keep that farm going. If we take a look at her last hits right now, she's at 227, 43 minutes in the game. And Luna is really known for just having some very quick farm with those glaives. So it's a little bit surprising that her farm is so low right now. And definitely really needed to get that going. The Aegis on the Ursa is going to get reclaimed. And Swardar still has the cheese, still working on the Assault Cuirass. There's also the Scotty on Ursa. Okay. Fair enough. It's definitely going to hurt the Radiant team. And at which point does the Ursa start to become too much of a threat? Like, he is 2750 health right now. He's got the... Well, he's going to get more once he's got the Scotty in his inventory. It's going to be well over 3,000. I just feel like the picks right now for Ginvoker aren't as effective as they wanted to be. Rubik's going to get another steal onto the sprint. Again, not the best steal. And we kind of talked about that prior to the match. I mean, there aren't as many good skills for the Rubik to steal this time. It's just how the Dire lineup is built. And with the Rubik being last pick, it's kind of weird, honestly, with the types of heroes that were already there. So we'll see which team gets aggressive. The Butterfly is going to get finished up onto the Luna. And Ursa's basically full on item slots right now. He doesn't have a TP. He may go for something other than that Vlad's, even though it is good to have a Vlad's on your team for late game. But maybe someone else can carry it. In any case, the Dire are content to farm out their jungle, giving the Radiant a little bit of time here, giving the Luna some room to farm for buyback. And they're just gonna go in with the Dazzle. Dazzle goes with the Shadow Blade, trying to find some heroes to kill. If we take a quick look at the vision, we've got basically 2 wards up for the Radiant, very few up for the Dire. I believe that's 1. They do have the Courier here. They're gonna put down the Sentry to make sure there's not an Observer. They smoke without the Dazzle. And here they come. Down the mid lane. They could find out the Rubik. They know exactly where he is. Blink forward. Crush on the Rubik. Now Rubik, he is silenced, and he's going to get absolutely blown up by the Ursa. No buyback available, as Rubik was going for a BKB. This is just a very weird game from Ginvoker. I feel like the builds are just not quite there. The picks, a little bit weird. I mean, I will say that the Dazzle's build is just completely... very confused. Very out there. And now this Miner's Armor goes on to 3 of the Radiant. I feel like once that continues to tick on, maybe when this next wave gets here, the Dire, they could go in. They want to try to find a hero that's clearing the wave out very far up. And no, they're going to go over and push top. So they want to make sure that they can take all the racks in one fell swoop. So they're going to go over and clear this out. Rubik is going to respawn in 20 seconds. It'll be interesting to see where this ends up. 23 kills to 37. Various aspects are leading this one right now. It's going to be a very easy tier 2 tower for them to get. 9 seconds on the respawn. Blink 4 is going to hit the crush on the Lina. Lina's going to get absolutely blown up. BKB going to get popped by the Orsa. There's going to be the Abyssal Blade on the Crystal Maiden. Crystal Maiden getting down very quickly. Doesn't matter that you can't see him with the Glimmer Cape. He's going to get easily taken out with that Sword Art amplified damage on top of his face. And now here they go onto this tier 2 tower. Tier 2 tower going to fall to the Dire. And Blizzardback getting very far up with his back. And the bristles. It's in the name. Dire going to take a breather. 40 seconds on the Lina. 30 on the Crystal Maiden. They've not got the supports from this one. There could be a blink in by the Orsa. Orsa has that blink available. Abyssal Blade in 5 seconds. Seeing when they can make this jump. Illusory Orb comes in by the puck. Not going to go to that one. They just want to clear out these creeps here. They're being very cautious. They don't want to lose this high ground to a defense. Rubik will find the puck waning rift. That is what it's called. Yes, got it right. Here come the creeps once again for the Dire. Orsa, he's got the Enrage, he's got the Blink, he's got the Abyssal Blade. We'll see who he's going to try to find. Oh, big glimpse! Blink double crush by the Slardar, and now they go right onto the Luna. Luna using the BKB has to try to get out. Here is going to be the Eclipse, and Orsa pops the BKB, so does the Slardar. They're going to go right onto the Luna. Luna has that butterfly, but it doesn't matter in the end. There's a big Death Ward putting a lot of damage onto the Crystal Maiden. Slardar eventually taking the last hit, and now they just really want to focus on getting the kills here. Oh, another stun. If they can take this Luna down a second time, Ursa doesn't have the Aegis right now, so he does have to be careful. Going to get slowed down, and they want to take him out. There is going to be the Enrage. He's getting the Grave onto his face, and Leroy Jenkins becomes Leroy Deadkins, and now Bristleback, he is in trouble as well. Lots of quills going everywhere. He's trying to do everything he can to just make sure they're hitting him from exactly the wrong angles, and well, the Luna is going to be the last one to fall. Call that full 5-man team wipe, as they did every buyback they could, but it didn't matter at the end. 20 seconds is going to be the closest respawn, as Crystal Maiden is up in 13. But I don't think she can do a whole lot about that. 9,000 gold change here in favor of the Dire, as they are just ripping through these Radiant racks. They're going to take out the melee, they're going to take the range, and now they're going to go for the mid lane. They are just cleaning up this Radiant racks, and well, the Radiant decide that they don't want to get out of this one just yet. They're not going to GG out. Possibly going to go in. Crystal Maiden uses the Memory Cape, but they can still see you. They've got a Slardar. Hello, girl. I see you. Rubik will steal the Poison Touch from the Dazzle, but it really doesn't matter at this point. Luna down for 60 more seconds. No buyback available. Crush does miss from the Slardar. And Rubik has another steal. Just wants to put the Poison Touch out right now. Lift is going to get used onto the Slardar. Puts her out onto the Ursa. And now Rubik becomes a pig. Goes down to the puck. And now Lena going to get smacked down, slowed down, made dead by the Ursa. And that's going to be it. Various aspects come back in game number 2 of this best of 2 to even out the series at 1-1. And the teams are going to split this set. 50 minutes. Some very well contested matches here. I would say they were fairly close, but clearly in each game, one team had the advantage. And in this game, Ginvoker just let the Ursa get away from them, and various aspects take the win. There were a couple of weird builds. I would like to especially talk about the Dazzle going for Shadow Blade, Orchid, Ags. That's not really what you want to build on the hero. And if you also take a look at the lineup, you didn't have a mechanism. You didn't have Guardian Greaves. You did have the Solar Crest on the Witch Doctor, which is again something that I would rather the Dazzle be building. It's just very bizarre. And the other one, yeah, the Rubik definitely could have gone for some better things. I mean, Blink Ags is okay, but maybe a different hero, maybe something else. It just wasn't working. In any case, that's going to do it for that match. Thank you all for watching. I'm Pythian Legume. You can follow me on Twitter at Pythian Legume or on twitch.tv/Pythian Legume. I'll be doing a lot of Learn Dota 2 League, as well as other matches that I'll be commentating. Going to be focusing on that throughout the summer, so definitely stop by and follow the channel if you are interested in that. If not, then I wish you have a good day. And, as always, cheers.